Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back.
You still got your weird Zoolander picture going on in the open of that thing. I don't even understand what's going on. Hey everybody, happy Monday. Welcome to Run It Back. Look at us. We're in light colors. I don't even know why. We're in the middle of winter. Hi, Lewis.
Good morning.
No.
It's time.
How are you doing?
I'm well.
Yeah, everybody's good?
How you doing?
Good. Chandler's out there dealing with the American justice system.
Praying for my brother.
I know. Well, he's gonna be all right.
Keep your head high, Chandler.
He's gonna be all right. Be profesh. We have a lot to talk about by way of hoops, and a lot going on this week because it is trade deadline week, and we're just kind of hoping that something exciting is gonna happen. But until we get to that, we can talk about some of the games that we witnessed over the weekend. This was the big one at the Garden. The Knicks beat the Lakers. That's their 6th straight win. Team meetings, I guess. Who knew? They have now matched. Wait for it, the Hornets for the longest win streak in the NBA currently, never in a million. Paul Pierce recently said the Knicks aren't missing any pieces. They are not, and have enough to come out in the East. You know what? This is a conversation that we will continue to have. If they hit a slump again, we'll say the opposite. But as for now, do they?
I think that's still a question in the air. I still think they are figuring out their team, which is, pretty crazy to say at this point in the season. Do I think that, team camaraderie is all the way there? I'm not sure. It's still, rumbles of, not necessarily getting along and being on the same page. And, it even comes to the point where it's certain guys calling out other certain guys in the media. So, I don't know. To sit there and ignore and act like that isn't something that has an effect on the team, that would be foolish. So, I do think they still have things to figure out. But on paper, they had the talent. They've been together long enough. They have the experience together. It's just about remaining consistent. The East is up and down right now. It is some late bloomers in the East right now, and a team that comes to mind is a team like the Celtics. So to say, can they come out? I do think they're a piece away. I do think they need to add another scoring option. I think it's a lot of pressure on Brunson every night to be the go-to guy. So I do think they need one more go-to guy. But to say, can they come out right now? I think that's still in the air. I think that's something they still have to figure out as a team.
I understand what he's alluding to, though. Like, if you look at the Knicks, they have depth. They have guys that can score the basketball. They've changed their identity in being a defensive-minded basketball team, half-court defense. Half-court offense is going to be important when you look at playoff basketball. So when you look at the New York Knicks and the way that they've been able to transform themselves in the last 3 to 4 weeks of play after their players-only meeting and then going out and having a statement win against Brooklyn, winning by 50-plus points, and then taking that momentum and still playing very good basketball, they're passing all of the eye tests. So I understand what Double P was going with that, but my concerns are there's other teams that's playing just as well and has just as much depth that the New York Knicks have. You're looking at the Boston Celtics. They're starting to roll. They were a team that we were up in the air about. They're passing the eye test right now, and Detroit has been consistent as well. So when you look at those 3 teams, New York, yes, they're in that conversation, but I'm looking at the Celtics of the world. I'm looking at the Detroits of the world. They've just been more consistent. But I like the fact that the Knicks have turned the corner. So I can see what he's trying to say here. What they don't have any missing pieces. They got a lot of good things that's going in their direction right now.
Well, the trade deadline is Thursday, and there have been reports from our guy Sam Amick about Cat specifically that go back to the summer, actually, because of all the trade talks and whisperings and murmurings about him involved in a trade that could possibly bring Giannis to New York City. Well, as you may or may not have heard, all of those talks have been picking up again this entire time. So I'm wondering, you got Cat with hard feelings. He's got the fewest points since his rookie season. Last night was not what I would call a stellar night for Cat at the office, Lou.
Yeah.
How does this play out in that regard?
Well, look, the business is the business, right? And you can have your hard feelings and you can feel how you feel about some of these certain things. That's the nature of the beast. You play better, and sometimes even if you play good, you're going to be in trade talks. If you play bad, you're going to be in trade talks. I think Cat should take this as as a sign of respect and as a sign of him being a valuable asset and a valuable piece to make things move around. Now, again, the honeymoon is over. So when he got there, he was Bodega Cat and had all of these nicknames. He was embraced in New York. He's a New Jersey cat. He was embraced across the bridge. But now the New York Knicks have a certain identity, a certain way that they like to play. They want their players to be gritty and grimy. And Cat was showing that. He hasn't had that type of year this year since Mike Brown has been the coach and him trying to find where he fits in this offense. But you got to put all that aside, especially if your team is rolling. If your team is rolling, put aside your individual and your personal stuff and put something to the table. He hasn't played great basketball, and it's probably affecting him, but he got to be a pro. He got to suck that up and continue to play well. And so, you know, him having hard feelings with the Knicks, we've all been there before. You're playing for a team, you're giving it your all, you're giving it your best effort, and you're constantly hearing your names in talks and, you know, people saying that you're not doing good enough and you're not wanted. That can mess with your psyche a little bit, but best he can, he has to go out and be a pro and try to put numbers on the board for the New York Knicks.
I agree with you, Lou. There is no excuse. That can't be the reason or your excuse as to, you know, why you haven't played at a high level or, you know, playing to the level that we all expect you to. Like Lou said, this is a part of the business. Everybody's name has been a part of trade, rumors, and things of that nature, so that's no excuse. For me, if that's something that's really bothering you and you feel like, you know, they're viewing you in the wrong way, go out and prove them wrong. You know what I mean? Go out there and have, you know, 30 and 12 games. And I guarantee their whole mindset as far as, you know, are we good enough right now or should we try to add something? I think that changes with, you know, the right play to go along with it. So like Lou said, it's about being a professional. It's about, you know, playing through the, you know, the noise, the loud noise that's around you. And that's all you can really do as a competitor. Control what you can control and go out there and put it on the floor. So I agree.
But I like the clips that we just saw, right? Like, get it out the mud. He's on the offensive glass. He's giving his team second chance opportunities, giving himself second chance opportunities. So even if he's not having a great, efficient year that he wants to have, it's different ways that you can impact the game. Going down and doubling, not allowing your teammate to play on the island with Luka by himself. Use your body, use your size to go make a difference on the defensive end. On the offensive end, like we just said, crash the glass. Get you 3 or 4 offensive rebounds a game, turn those into layups. That's 6 to 8 easy points a game that helps you out with your confidence. Now the rim looks huge to you. Now the rim looks big. You're getting 6 to 8 easy ones. You add 5 to 6 free throws into that. Now you only got to make 4 or 5 shots to get to your 20-point average. Now that's a difference in your confidence. So I like the fact of him just trying to find ways to impact the game. But on the mental side, you got to let the trade talks go. It's going to be what you're going to be. It's out of your control. It's out of your hands. The organization is going to do what they want to do anyways. Best thing you can do is go out, have a positive outlook, and do your best thing. End of the day, banks go everywhere. It's a bank in every city.
That's true.
Take your money with you,
Absolutely.
and you're probably going to go into a scenario where you still have an opportunity to be as equally as successful as you are with the Knicks. So, you know, those are things that Cat can control. He can't really bog himself down with the things that's out of his hands.
Can I ask a question about the mental? I mean, obviously we are every single one of us is wired differently. Some of us love adversity and that kind of gets us up and more motivated. Some people sort of shy away from it. Like I think most of us look at Cat and think that he doesn't necessarily thrive when it feels like his backup is up against the wall. Does he feel like he's on an island, or is he looking to teammates? Like, how does that work?
From the outside looking in, I would say it's more so I don't think he feels supported within the organization. I feel like he's the oddball out with this group. And easily so. I mean, this is a group that dates all the way back to college. They won a collegiate championship together. So, you know, being put in that mix with that group of guys, it would be easy to feel like the oddball out. But as far as the, you know, handling the emotional part with, you know, everything going around, like Lou said, this is something that's just a part of the business. This can't be something that affects you every single night.
And he has been traded before.
He's been traded before.
Right.
And on top of that, like I said, if it's affecting you that much and you feel like, you know, they're in the wrong for even feeling that way, then go prove them wrong. It's literally that simple. Go put together a 10-game streak of the Cat we're expecting and that we're used to, and I guarantee, you know, the rumors and the narratives around your name changes. And that's how quick ball and this sport change is literally overnight.
And we've been hearing about this since the beginning of the season.
My goodness.
It was a conversation at the beginning of the season about how he felt about his role. So this was always a thing. Before they even got into the swing of the season, this was already a conversation. Yeah, we're 40-plus games in now. We either got this thing figured out or we don't. And if you don't have it figured out, you should be the first person saying, I agree with y'all, trade me.
Right.
I agree. This not working out. But if he wants to be there, you got to suck some of that up and you got to get over it. So.
I agree.
Take a little attention over to the Lakers. Obviously, the losers in this one. They've had an interesting week. They've been on the road for what seems like 100 years. And right now, they're sitting where they're sitting. What is it, 6th spot? So, yeah.
6.
Rashad McCants said that when Darvin Ham left, the Lakers were in the West Finals. When JJ took over, they haven't been back. McCants said that JJ is underachieving. Oh, I think JJ's going to love hearing this. Lou, is JJ underachieving?
Listen, I'm not going to put this under JJ's. That's a tough one.
Here we go.
That's a tough one because you know what? I'm a cup half full type of guy.
You are our optimist.
And when I look at JJ Redick, sure, he can. You can say he's underachieving. He's a young coach. He's still figuring things out, and he got a lot on his plate. It's one thing to be a young coach. It's a completely different thing to be a young coach as the Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh, yeah.
That is one of the hottest seats in all of coaching and all of sports, not just basketball. Yes, they were in a successful position when they were with Darvin Ham, but you look around the league. Everybody is dealing with something. I think the Lakers team is what they are. I think they are a middle of the pack team, and the teams that are before them are just playing better basketball. They're not a bad basketball team. They're 10 games over 500. You look at any team that's 10 games over 500, you would say that's a successful season, that's a successful run. But because it's the Los Angeles Lakers, that spotlight is way brighter, and that light and that hot light is way hotter than everybody else. And so I can't put all of this on JJ Redick. I think they got a good basketball team. It is a lot of things that they can clean up and they can work on as a group, but it's not all on JJ's shoulders, man. So,
yeah, I agree. This is a tough job to have. It's a very, very high standard. And on top of that, I don't believe any of us thought the Lakers were a championship group this year.
I don't think so.
So to say he's underachieving, that just doesn't go with the outlook of this team. So. I think they're right on pace. I think they're a middle-of-the-pack team. I've said that time and time again. I think this is a team that has to continue to improve, and I don't think they're a finished product yet. So, based off of all of those things, I don't think JJ's underachieving. I think they're right on pace, and
it's hard to say 79
they're right where they're supposed to be.
That's what I'm saying.
I know that seems a little...
it's almost impossible. That's why I was kind of stumbling over my words, because I'm trying to figure out how can you underachieve being 10 games over 500.
Exactly.
And I'm looking at the teams
in
that
a
are
tough West.
Yeah, in a tough West. The teams that are ahead of them are better basketball teams right now. However, I don't want to see the Lakers in the first round that's still a team that I don't want to see. So underachieving, bad basketball, whatever you want to call the Lakers, they're still a quality basketball team that you don't want to run into in the first round.
I agree.
I think that's fair. I can't believe we're this close to the trade deadline. It just doesn't, it's so quiet. I'm like, are they going to do something? Is anybody going to do anything?
Giannis got it on lockdown.
I really, something better start happening. I know we had something over the weekend, but come on. Luka, let's talk about it. 35, 10, 9.7 assists a game over his last 7. Lou, some will say, and we are in Los Angeles, and if you listen to local talk, I'm sure this will be a big topic, but are the Lakers failing him right now?
No, I think they got a quality basketball team. But again, I don't think they're better than the teams that are ahead of them right now. I think they can make a case for that come out of the All-Star break, and let's see what moves they make. But I think they're still a quality basketball team. So it's hard to say the Lakers are failing Luka when they went out and got him a big. They went out and got him some guys that supposed to have defensive mentalities that they can put around him, that can kind of protect him on the defensive end. He's going to be the guy with the ball. He's going to be the guy making the plays. At 33 and a half, 8 and 9, it looks like somebody's doing their part. For you to have 9 assists a game, you got to throw it to somebody that's able to finish what's going on. So it's hard for me to make a case for them failing him with the group that they have and with everything that's going on around the Lakers. But again, this is a market that is championships or bust. right now, them being in the middle of the pack, it's not satisfactory, and so you'll start hearing those kind of things. But no, I can't make a case that the Lakers are failing Luka. They've put a lot of different pieces around him. And also, we talked about J.J. Redick being still a young coach. This is still very early in Luka's Lakers tenure. Like, a loud thing, very early in Luka's Lakers tenure. So to put failing on it this early is just, that's an overreaction to me.
I agree. Like I said, I think they're right on pace. I think they've done a pretty good job in the short amount of time as far as, you know, surrounding him with talent and putting certain pieces around him. This is a pretty quick turnover in what I would say this is his first full year. So I think this is a pretty quick turnaround. And to have a first ballot Hall of Famer next to you and a legendary act at that, on top of a borderline all-star in Austin Reeves, you can't sit here and say the Lakers, you know, have failed them.
Without injury, Austin Reeves is an all-star.
Cool, but the point I'm making is they've surrounded him with some pretty, you know, high-level talent.
Right.
So to say they're failing him, I would have to disagree.
It's a very strong word, failing. Again,
failing is a very strong word.
Very strong word.
Very strong word.
We had a nice little battle of some of the top dogs in the West as well. Thunder, Denver. Here we go. SGA. It was a pretty good win. 121-111. OKC. SGA finishes with 34 and 13. Cason Wallace with 27. That's his career high. 7 made threes. Also a career high. Peyton Watson with 29 and 5. Jokic, 16, 8, 7, 6 turnovers. You didn't have Gordon, no Brown, no Caruso, no Jalen Williams. This is a pretty dominant win for OKC on the road. Puts them back in that win column. SGA was the best player on the floor. Let me ask you this. Do we feel like, and I think when you start looking at these top dogs, especially in the West, every single one of these feels like a statement win. But Lou, would you put a little extra oomph on this kind of a win for OKC?
Not really. A lot of injuries on both sides. I think this was business as usual for both of these teams. I like the way that OKC played. I like what they were able to get out of Cason Wallace last night. Like, he played lights out in a game where you don't have Caruso, you don't have Jalen Williams. You look to other guys to step in those gaps and give you some really good minutes, and Cason was able to do that last night. And so I wouldn't put any major emphasis on this game. Like I said, especially with Denver having 4 of their guys out, OKC having a few of their guys out. It was a matter of who was gonna stick it out, who can get the most out of their role players, and that was OKC, and that's been their identity the entire time. They've always been a team that can plug and play, that can add guys in, and it never looks like they're rattled. Even in games that they lose, they remain themselves. They never get out of character and start playing any different ways. And last night I thought this was a comfortable win for them, but nothing out of the ordinary for me.
I'm looking different. I think this was a big win for them. They've kind of been up and down lately, which is kind of awkward to say, even though they're still the best team in the NBA.
Yeah.
So I do think this was still a quality win, and the reason I say that, both MVPs are on the floor. So both MVPs, both leaders of the team were on the floor. So I think this was a quality win for OKC. Like I said, they've been up and down. I think this was a quality win as far as one of the top teams in the West. So OKC got to be feeling good moving forward. So. You know,
the better team won the game, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't put any extra emphasis on it. Like, it's not like they're chasing anything. They did what they were supposed to do. And Boogie, you know this. We always have coaches that tell us, go out and win the games that you're supposed to win. For me, this is a game that OKC was supposed to win, and they went out and did it.
I believe that was the Nuggets message as well in the locker room.
There you go.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to win this game.
Yeah, if the Denver Nuggets have this conversation, of course, we're saying.
I don't think every team is walking in thinking they're supposed to beat the Thunder or supposed to beat the Nuggets.
But I don't think Denver woke up this morning and feel any differently than they did the night before. They lost to a better team that they knew that was probably better than them. It was a great measuring stick for them. I don't think this was a measuring stick for OKC.
For sure.
Well, let me ask you this. 2 and 3 in their last 5, 6 and 4 in their last 10. I know there was a time when it was OKC or the field. Silly. I don't know why anyone would take one team over the field, but we did, Boogie. Some did. Are you still feeling that way?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like this team kind of hit a point where, you know, they kind of got a little bored. And that might be the wrong word, especially with a team coming off a championship.
I like to say complacent.
Yeah, complacent is
the fancier word of bored.
So I don't think any team is viewing this team as a cakewalk. I don't think anybody's confident in, I want to play this team in the playoffs. So I do still think they're the favorites as of right now.
Really?
I do.
You're not taking the field? Y'all are crazy.
I still think they're the favorites to win it. So, yeah, I'm a roll with it.
It's supposed to get tougher. Once you win one, it's supposed to get tougher because you become the measuring stick. You become the team that everybody is looking at. When you go on the road and you go to these teams' arenas, or when they come to you, they're looking at you to try to tell you where you are. When in retrospect, when I'm OKC, I'm just working on myself. I'm not looking at y'all as the measuring stick. I'm just working on myself. I'm working on my flaws. I'm working on the things that's gonna make us better, especially when you get to the mountaintop. When you get to the mountaintop, the regular season is just like, man, let's get this over with and let's get to some playoff basketball where we're gonna kick it up, because I still feel like OKC has another level that they can reach into. They're still not healthy. You still get Caruso back. You're still gonna get Jalen Williams back. They can kick into another gear that a lot of these teams can do so as well, but I'm still the better team. So are teams around the league supposed to get better, especially in the West? Absolutely, but I think that's because they're looking at us as the measuring stick. They're looking at the OKC Thunder as the team to beat, and they're still being able to withstand. And they're still getting punched in the mouth a little bit, and they're not overreacting to it.
If I lived in a free state, I'd put a couple dollars on a few of those other teams that come out.
Like which
West.
one, though?
Well, Denver and San Antonio for sure. I'm definitely putting a couple dollars on both. I'm taking the field. 100% taking the field. Sure. I've never felt stronger about anything in my entire life.
It's hard. Listen. It's hard to go back to back, but also we haven't seen this team drop off either. They're still number one.
Still the best team in the league
by a long shot.
Yeah. Seen them lose to a few teams a few times.
Yeah, like with the struggles that they have. Yeah. With the struggles that they've had, they're still the best team.
I believe a little team I like to call the Spurs and the Timberwolves. I figured out a couple things. By the way, Timberwolves that's crazy, plus 2,000. Also, I'm a big field person. It's really hard to narrow it down to one team against everybody else. It's just that's
you only play one at a time.
Lou, I don't need your wisdom.
Only play one.
I can't.
I'm glad you likened it to that. Thank you.
Look, this was a quiet night for Nikola Jokic. That is fine. But I'm just happy he's back on the floor, quite frankly. After the 31-point return that he had against the Clippers on Friday, however, cover your ears, George Karl tweeted, Jokic is a top 5 player all time, and in other organizations, he'd have 3 rings already. Seems like a knock at a few people here, Boogie. Top 5 player all time, though, is what we're concentrating on.
Right now?
All time.
No.
All time.
Top 5 all time?
Come on.
We can bypass that part. Yeah. I'm thinking about the second part of the tweet.
Which part? Because there's a lot. There's
he's talking
unpacking
like
here.
what's going on?
If he was with another organization, he'd have 3 rings on?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hypothetical. You can make up any hypothetical, like, yeah.
Well, it's certainly shade at Denver. So.
I mean, that's what he does.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
You got to consider the source. So, whatever.
Let me ask you this. Okay, fine. Let's just run with the idea that what other organization, theoretically, hypothetically, would he have had 3 rings?
Jokic is doing everything that he can,
That's what I thought.
he's doing well. I don't want to give this too much because this is. George Karl has turned into a hot take older coach, and I don't want to feed too much into it.
He's like an older Gilbert Arenas.
Nah.
He's just got a lot to say.
That's an insult. That's an insult.
That'll
to
be
Gil.
an insult to Gil. Yeah.
Like I said, you just gotta consider the source, man. Whatever. Just whatever. Like,
There's a lot. There's a lot. I don't mind
he
the top 5 player.
says so much that we don't even want to talk about the positive thing that he said.
I was gonna say there are a lot of people.
I do
not
think
named
Jokic
George
has
Karl.
a chance of being a top 5.
I was gonna say a lot of people think this already.
Yeah, I don't think that. As of right now and where we stand today, I disagree. But does he have a legit chance? 100%.
Okay, so that's fair. See, haha, positive. By the way, you tweeted, look at you all tweeting on social media, how good Kansas freshman Darren Peterson is, and then, of course, the internet. There were a lot of dudes in the house for that game over the weekend, but the one that everyone noticed the most was Sam Presti. He's like the Grim Reaper to everybody else. Any chance in the world that OKC, with their 4,000 picks, figures out a way to get Darren Peterson in OKC?
I'm going to say no, because whatever team will make that deal, you will be fired.
Oh, the whole team.
You
gone.
will be fired. if you pass on Darren Peterson for draft pick. You will be fired.
Could happen though, dude. Theoretically, it could happen.
It could happen. Yes, OKC has the ability. They have the intangibles.
You can use it as bait.
Yeah. Whoever agrees to that deal will be fired.
Unless he uses it as bait, and they can go out and get a bona fide superstar to match up with the guys that they have already. I don't think they go into the draft looking for the future. They have the future in their hands. They're still a young team.
Okay, here's the in case you felt like being more depressed, unless you are a Thunder fan, and then congrats to you. But future first-round picks incoming, 13. Future second-round picks incoming, 16. I mean, there is a world where a rebuilding squad is like, what are we going to do with one good guy when we could get, I don't know, 40 picks?
You can't pass up.
You
can't pass up on this.
Everything goes through.
It ain't enough picks in the world to pass. If y'all are watching what I'm watching when it comes to this kid playing the game, it's not enough picks in.
Would you be shocked if somehow they figured a way to do it?
No.
Not at all. They got all the assets to make it happen.
Isn't that scary?
They have
That's
all
scary.
the intangibles to do so. So no, I wouldn't be shocked. But I can't see another team,
I agree.
giving up that opportunity to draft Darren Peterson. That's the part I'm talking about.
Just takes.
And if you did, you will be fired.
You will all be fired.
Yes.
All of you. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, Boogie's favorite team is the Hornets. Can they make the playoffs?
That's a squad.
That's next.
That's a squad.
Run it up, run it back.
I mean, look at these Hornets. Hottest team in the league. 6 straight wins. They beat the Spurs 111-106. That was on Saturday. 26 points from Brandon Miller. Longest win streak since they won 7 way back in 2016. Wow, there's a lot going on here. 22-28. They've jumped up to 11. And by the way, that's a big deal. I am not mocking that. 1.5 games out of the play-in. And look, it sounds like I'm joking. I'm not joking. You love this Hornets team.
I don't love them. I just see the potential.
Why are you denying love now?
I don't love them.
You do.
Come on, man.
I see the potential. I like
Okay.
I'm going to keep.
It's okay to love what
I'm going
heart
to
wants what it wants,
keep
Boogie.
saying it.
All right.
I like this group. I don't know what the leadership role will be, moving forward, but I like this group. I think they should stick it through. I think this group is just missing discipline, a standard. But once those things are established with this group, and that's saying a lot.
Get him, Lou.
That's saying a lot, Lou. I know.
As long as you said it.
I see the potential, and I want this group. I want them to see this group through. I think they had the potential to do something, especially in the East. Let them continue to grow together. Find their way in this league. I think this group has potential.
I gotta agree with you. They have a lot of talent. I agree on that. A lot of individual talent. And some discipline would go a long way. Like, you watch this basketball team, they make a lot of mistakes. They make a lot of youthful mistakes. If you get and I don't want to put everything on their coach because they are playing good basketball right now. It is what it is. They got 6 straight wins. But they don't value the basketball enough. To be a young basketball team, you got to value that ball. That ball got to be golden to you. And they turn it over too much. They're too careless with the basketball for me to just believe in them and seeing that they can move forward. Until they clean some of that up, until they work on some of the discipline like you talked about, then I will buy into them being a great group as a collective. But right now, they just got a bunch of individual talent to me.
Any comparisons for LaMelo Ball you might want to talk to us about? Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Why are you doing
Put him on the spot.
Because when you say stuff in the meeting, I'm going to remind you about it when I come back out here.
That was meant for the meeting.
Well, how was that meant for the meeting? Well,
Pull the curtain back, Beadle.
come on.
Pull the curtain
It's
back.
a good
No, that's funny.
comparison.
It's not.
It was a good comparison for the meeting.
Why are you denying your love for this team? Okay, so let me ask you this. In a perfect world, what kind of a coach? What would be the thing that makes the difference?
I'm saying this, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to
all.
Charles Lee at all, but I just don't know, where he's going to be eventually in this situation.
Okay.
But when I think about this young group and the things that they're missing, I think about a guy like Tibbs.
Oh, yes.
I think Tibbs can teach this group winning ways. I think he can, put discipline within this group. I think they'll have a winning standard under a guy like that. And he's proven it before. He took a young Minnesota team with Cat to the playoffs. He developed those guys. He also did it with the New York Knicks and even the young Bulls teams from back in the day. So I think he has a track record of, kind of turning the curve for these young teams and giving them an identity. So I think he would do wonders for this Charlotte group as well.
I miss Tibbs. I want Tibbs back in the league more than anything.
I wouldn't be mad at it. Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad at it either. That's not anything against Charles Lee, by the way. I think it's funny too that the who's the best player on the Hornets team conversation changes almost by the hour. Right now, though, during the 10-game stretch, Brandon Miller, 25 points a game, basically. Okay, so for today, Lou, is he the best player on this team?
He's balling, but again, when you're 11th and you had to win 6 games to get there,
damn,
it really don't matter who the best player is. I think no, it really don't. I'm not even.
No, I like that though.
I'm not trying to be funny.
Fair.
I'm not trying to be.
It changes.
It does. It should change.
Fluid.
And again, and that's a lot of the problem that I have with the Charlotte Hornets. A lot of individual talent. They got to figure out a way to be a collective and to put a run together like they are now. So I'm going to give them credit. 6-game win streak, they got to continue on to get themselves in the conversation of being in the play-in and then possibly being a playoff basketball team. They got to have some consistency. Once they establish some consistency, some discipline like Boogie just mentioned, then I'll start looking into who's the best player and this and that. But right now, they just need to focus on playing the best basketball that they possibly can as a group.
I'm just thinking about Tibbs in that locker room. Those are some young dudes.
Wild. He'll get their respect quickly, but I think that's something that can, change that organization.
Okay.
But as far as speaking on the talent, I don't think that's a bad problem to have. To be able to say on a different night, that
a different guy, yeah.
a different guy, that shows that this group has a lot of talent.
Right.
I don't think that goes for every bad team in the league. When you think about the Washington Wizards, you know who the clear-cut best player is. That'll be a guy in Trae Young. You think about the New Orleans Pelicans, you think about Zion Williamson. So to sit here and say it's a new best player on a nightly basis, that's not a bad problem.
They're an inconsistent team, and that shows in the inconsistency. Like we've made a case with KNICKS. We've made a case for Brandon Miller. We've defended Melo Ball as the best player on that team.
Now let's move forward with those 3 guys and get the best out of them. Let's see what we can get.
Let's get something consistent out of it. And so 6 straight wins.
That's awesome.
Still got you a game and a half out of being in the play-in. Right. So you got to start somewhere.
That's okay. By the way, we talk about the Clippers.
Boogie keep laughing.
Hold on, though.
He keeps laughing. You have to start somewhere.
Thank you.
You have to start somewhere, and I think this is a positive start. But again, this comes down to consistency. We've tried to make a case with 3 different guys. If they can collectively bottle this up and be a collective, it doesn't matter who the best player is. I like the focus that they have now. Let's just put wins together. It doesn't matter what the outside noise is. Let's play as a collective, and they've been able to do that in the past couple of weeks.
The hole was dug, same as the Clippers. The difference is the Clippers has a bunch of legends on their team, and these are all young kids. By the way, can we talk about the celebration by Charles Lee? I don't know that Tibbs is necessarily celebrating on the same level as Charles Lee. What the hell is going on in here?
And this look at these guys.
Look like a group of kids.
But it looks like they're responding to him. If they didn't like this guy he's in there screaming and yelling, I promise you they're gonna sit there with a stale face
awkward
and they're gonna be like, look at this dude. They like him. They like him. So
Could they do good cop, bad
so
cop?
Maybe they should grow. Maybe they should all just grow up together.
Oh, I love
Let's all just continue to grow. And
I think that's a possibility too.
Yeah.
Okay, like a reality show.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility. Like I said, I like
that video.
Yeah, for sure.
That video makes me happy.
Yeah, I got nothing bad to say about the Hornets today.
Well, Boogie loves them.
Good
I don't know
vibes
why
around
he's
for the
trying to
Hornets.
pretend like
Keep growing, man. Keep growing.
Good vibes around for the Hornets.
Y'all got my support.
There you go.
We'll be back with that tomorrow again. We got some reserves news. Now we know who's doing what and where's going that. West Reserves announced, so let's take a little look here. Okay, I don't need to read them all to you. You can see them. The biggest snub is going to be the first thing that pops out because we are negative by nature as human beings, and that's where we're going, Boogie. Who are we missing on that list?
I would say a guy like Kawhi Leonard, and the reason being, the main thing is it's in their home arena. So that stood out for me. You would think it would be some type of representation of the Clippers. On top of that, this last 2 months of basketball has been incredible for Kawhi. So you can't deny that part either. The numbers support the case as being an all-star as well. And on top of it is Kawhi. This isn't this is a player that's well known. We know what he brings when he's healthy, and he's bringing it as of right now. So with all that being said, I think he was one of the snubs in the West.
Yeah, gotta make a case for Kawhi. I think all of the stars aligned for him to be there. He's a 50, 40, 94 guy on the season, averaging almost 28 points a game, and it's in his home arena, and they have a better record than the Portland Trail Blazers. I don't want to single out Denny, but I would probably make a case for Kawhi to replace him, if anybody on this list. But that's definitely the one that stands out to me. The way that they've been able to put themselves back into a competitive conversation this year, a lot of that has to be the responsibility of Kawhi Leonard. We've always criticized him for being available. He's been available, and not only has he been available, he's been playing lights out. And so it being in his home arena, him doing what he's supposed to do, I think this is the one that stood out the most.
You think all that tree planting stuff, you think that got in people's ears? And because look, that is still a story. It is, and people wonder if after the All-Star game, things might actually become loud again.
At the end of the day, everybody is making a ton of money. Who cares where it's coming from?
And we need trees.
And we need trees.
You know what? I'm gonna need you to.
And we need trees.
I need that to stop.
And we need
Clean the air.
But look at these reserves though. 5 out of 7 of these guys are gonna eventually be legacy act. Well, 4: Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and you can make a case for Ant Edwards at some point. He's gonna be a legacy act. Jamal Murray deserved his spot. Chet Holmgren, every single guy on here deserved their spot. So again, I won't say that I'm gonna single out Denny. But the Clippers do have a better record than the Portland Trail Blazers, and the numbers are there for Kawhi Leonard to be represented in the All-Star game.
Couldn't you make the look? I'm not trying to.
And it's probably not too late. Usually we have 1 or 2 guys go out with injuries. He'll probably still get in anyways.
I mean, look, LeBron is definitely a legacy act. I feel like the conversation should be more that Kawhi should have that spot than anything, because Denny has had a hell of a year.
Yeah, he's not having a better year than either one of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, so listen, obviously LeBron is
the odd guy out. Denny is.
Yeah, and obviously LeBron is a legacy act, and he's also a 41-year-old that's doing something that we haven't seen a 41-year-old do since Michael Jordan. And
Hold on, LeBron's 41?
Yes.
Come on, I didn't know. Did anybody know about that?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
But again, so when you have somebody at that age playing at the level that he's playing, he's always going to be considered in these conversations. He has a rule book of his own, and it's deserved.
I wonder if he's like, no, I'm good. I don't want to be a reserve.
If he does feel that way, that's okay too.
And then who knows gets to go in there. I wonder too if he might do that. But the East also had their reserves announced. Taking a look at what we got coming out of the East side. All right, we got. Okay.
Now, we did have strong opinions about the East.
We did.
We did.
Snub-wise or?
Snub-wise, I thought Brandon Ingram was supposed to be in this conversation.
You think that?
Michael Porter Jr. was supposed to be in this conversation.
Missing, huh?
I strongly feel like Brandon Ingram should have represented the Toronto Raptors as a reserve, opposed to Scotty Barnes. No knock on Scotty Barnes, but Brandon Ingram was the guy that was doing this year for them that I would have loved to see him represent them in the All-Star game.
Those are 2 big ones. Those are 2 big stubs.
For me, it's Michael Porter Jr. Championship piece. This is a guy that's now in a new role as far as, being the main guy, and I think he's, performed at a super, super high level. I think he's opened his eye. I think the league has opened their eyes to the talent that he is as an individual. In the beginning, I think he was viewed as just a role player on a championship team, and now he's showing that he can be his own individual in this league. So, averaging about 25 a game this season.
Tough.
I think he should have been in there.
By the way, are we waiting on a ruling on Cat? Is he Dominican or is he going to play U.S.? We don't know yet, right? Like, we are actually officially waiting on a ruling on which team he's going to be on. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, every year we have this conversation. We got to figure out, what are we honoring? Are we honoring the numbers? Are we honoring winning? Is it a mix of both, or is it different for different guys?
These are the coaches.
Pascal, that threw me off.
He's an all-star caliber guy, but your team is dead last. So those numbers to me are,
he shouldn't be in over Michael Porter Jr. if it's based off the numbers.
If it's based off that,
yeah.
MPJ should have got in if it was based off that.
I would feel weird if everyone thought I shouldn't be in and somebody else should be. That's got to be a weird feeling. Maybe I just wouldn't listen to y'all. That's probably what I do. We're going to take a quick break. It's been a year, you guys, 1 whole year. We'll take a look back. The day we will always remember. Next.
Run it up, run it back.
I don't know how you guys celebrated, or perhaps didn't, but yesterday was the one-year anniversary of Shams tweeting that the Mavericks had traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers, along with Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and 1 first-round pick. It's been a whole year, Lou. Assess. Worse, better, exactly what you expected a year later that this thing looks?
About a little worse off than I thought it would be. I thought the Lakers,
okay.
well, just a tad, because I thought this would put them in a top 3 conversation in the West.
Oh, interesting.
And so, them being in 6th place, kind of teetering around there. They started this year.
So worse for the Lakers?
A tad. Well, are we comparing?
No, I think most people would have thought when I said worse, you meant
well,
Dallas.
Obviously, Dallas, I mean.
Well, we had no expectations.
Yeah, I'm not going to kick a man while he's down. Right? Dallas is having a tough run. They're still trying to find their footing in all of this, and so we don't have to revisit that part of the trade, right? I think that's fair to say. So we look at the Los Angeles Lakers and we look at Luka on the other end, and so I would say, the Lakers still got some work to do, but I think in the long run, this still works out in the Lakers' favor opposed to Dallas.
Yeah, obviously I think the Lakers got the better end of the deal, and the reason I say that it isn't about who accomplished more after the trade. It's more so just the Lakers. They are healthy. They do have a chance to compete, and the Mavericks, we never got to see it on paper.
No,
it never came together. So just with that alone, you have to give the Lakers the benefit of the doubt. But in a hypothetical world, if we could have ever seen, what the Mavericks look like after the deal was done, I think this is a different.
And healthy. We still haven't seen Dallas healthy as well.
At all.
Yeah, so just based off that alone, you have to give it to the Lakers.
Yeah.
What kind of grade would you give the Lakers? Actually, you know what? We'll do both. What grade do you give the Lakers now that we've had a year of this? And then what would you give Dallas, and given all that you've just said?
I would give the Lakers a B+. And, Dallas is, based off everything that's...
Still in playoff contention. You got to give that a B. They're still in playoff contention.
You give Dallas a B?
No, Lakers.
Oh, yeah, B, yeah.
Yeah, you didn't give Dallas no B, did you?
No, I thought you were saying give Dallas a B. No. And then obviously Dallas, whatever failing grade you can come up with,
Yeah.
Whatever failing grade you could come...
Yeah, No, you got. I think that's fair.
Your grading system.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Obviously, Luka was a home. He was a hero there. He was somebody that was revered, that they loved, and they felt strongly about. You got all the backlash about Nico, and you eventually fire him. You still don't have a healthy Anthony Davis in uniform. You still don't know what it looks like to have Kyrie and all of those guys together. So none of these things have come to fruition for Dallas. So you can't give them a passing grade.
Well, hold on. But they did, and granted, this was the basketball gods blessing them, but they did get Cooper Flag. I feel like that's worth at least a 1-letter grade up, no?
Yeah.
I think that's a conversation for, more so down the line. It's hard to make judgment on a rookie in his rookie season. You know what I mean? So I think everybody knows this kid is going to be really, really good in the NBA, but do we know if he turns into a Luka Doncic in the next 3 to 4 years?
Yeah.
That's still in the air. We don't know. So
is he good right now?
To be done.
Still a lot to be done for it to be considered in this conversation we're having.
So I think this is a fair question, and you can break down all the different first-round picks, who has what and all that, but we also know LeBron's age. We know the Lakers aren't going to look like this forever. Who's closer to winning a championship, Dallas or L.A.?
L.A., obviously. They're a playoff team right now. I think Dallas is in the process of, rebuilding, figuring out who they want to be moving forward, and, subtracting and adding pieces to their team. So obviously the Lakers are closer right now, but this is still a conversation for the next 3 to 4 years. And we don't know what happens first.
And if you're having a championship conversation around Dallas, you're hedging your bets on 2 guys that are still unavailable.
Sure.
And Kyrie and Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis is in trade talks. You don't even know if that's going to be the identity of the team. So you got to give it to the Lakers.
I don't think
I'm
I
sure
do.
Kyrie will be eventually as well.
I think, but LA's got a bunch of free. I don't know, guys. I think if we're talking, because I don't think either one's close to winning one at all. So I'm looking at like 5 years from now.
But who's closer?
LA's all free agents. Like they're going to have who's going to be left? Luka and Austin Reeves.
You can't look 5 years ahead.
I have to. Granted, we'll all be dead. But I do think that somehow, some way, 5 years is where we're looking for either one of these teams to even be in the conversation to win.
Then you got to start, if we're going to look 5 years ahead, then I'm going to start where I am today, and I'm going to assess it from there.
Well, that's because you're the optimist and I'm the pessimist.
Well, there you have it.
We got to take a quick, we got rants. We got a rant. Not ours, somebody else's.
We love rants.
We love rants.
Run it back.
Coach, you get like a lot of national criticism for playing flag at point guard. But over the last 2 games,
I don't give criticism or criticism. That's your opinion. You guys write that. That's not. I've done this. I played this game. I played it at a very high level, and I know. But I don't give you guys right, because you guys have never played the game, and so I've built players. So I know what doing.
You know what's scary is when the voice never goes above. Oh, I'm terrified. I detected no lies, Boogie. I feel like he's done this.
I like the message.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you got to put an MFer in their place, and that's exactly what happened. As athletes, you know, we get frustrated when we continue to get critiqued by people that have never, you know, laced up the sneakers or put the work in or been through the injuries or any of those things, and they critique you about your job. And I think this was just, you know, frustration that kind of came out where, you know, you're tired of having to explain yourself to people that have never been in this position, or you have to sit there and listen to a person's opinion that's never been in this position. Okay. So, you know, I'm okay with the message. I totally agree with it, and sometimes it just needs to be said. But with all that being said, I still don't like Cooper Flag at point. So.
Yeah.
But it's part of the. I think he's just giving him all of the tools in the arsenal to, like, because remember he had Giannis and.
I get it, but when I think of Cooper Flag, and I could be completely wrong, and I'm okay with that. But when I look at Cooper Flag,
are you really you're cool with being wrong?
I'm totally okay with being wrong. But when I look at Cooper Flag, I just don't see him as a point guard type of player. Now I do think he can have some responsibilities, more so in a, you know, Lamar Odom, Draymond Green type of role, as far as being that point forward. But just playing him at point, I'm not a fan of it. I don't think that's the best version of him. And like I said, I could be wrong. He could turn into something we've never seen before, you know what I mean? But as of right now, I'm not a fan of it.
Just giving him tools.
But I do trust J. Kidd and developing players. Like he said, I've done this before. Yeah. And he's 100% right. So,
can't argue that,
you know, I'm not mad at the message.
Yeah, who's to say what's going to be successful and what's not? We're 4 months into Cooper Flag's career and early career. What we have seen is J. Kidd be somebody over 30 years in this business that we trust, knows what's going on in basketball. And so I'm glad that he kind of got some straightening out of this. Every decision that he makes probably won't be very popular, but it's also his decision to make. And like he said, I do this, and I've done this. I've built players. I've done it as a player. I've done it as a coach. I did this thing on every level that you can imagine. And so sometimes we do get a little comfortable with criticizing experts on things that we don't expertly know about. That's the world that we've kind of gotten used to. So it was good to get this kind of straightened out and hear this type of messaging being dead on and straightforward.
You guys don't mean that for me, though, right? Because I did play basketball in my 7th and 8th grade. So, like, technically, right?
It depends.
I laced them up.
It depends.
You know what? This is going to make a real awkward show for us tomorrow. We'll talk about it off camera.
We'll get over about it.
Love you, Beads.
And Mon Shumpert in studio, whole show, mañana. We'll see y'all.